Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here. Just want to do a quick Patreon update video and a big shout out and thank you to all the current patrons. A couple months ago, there was an ad boycott, and I made a video asking for your help because the YouTube revenue has dropped about 50%. It hasn't gotten much better, guys. It's still in the ruts, but you guys, enough patrons came through. There were enough donations to help me slide by. It's still very tight, but you guys have certainly kept the show alive. My Patreon revenue is almost equal to that of what I do on YouTube, and I get about 20 to 30,000 views a day. It's absolutely insane how little the ad revenue on YouTube is. So the patrons are certainly making a massive difference, and you guys are keeping the show alive. So guys, another reason the patrons are really valuable and really appreciated is because of these Channel 5 gaming contests. These are really a lot of work when we write these up and come up with all the rules and then the judging and how we're going to judge them and the reasons we have to change things every time. We have to find holes in the and it's several hours of brainstorming, coming up with ideas, then poking holes into it. It's essentially a writer's room discussion, trying to come up with the best contest for you guys, schedule it in, make a video for it, announce it, all that stuff. And then when it comes time to it and you guys are submitting your creations, you know, we end up getting 100 plus that I have to put into a collection. We got to put into a scene. We have to divide them up by ranks, and we have to build, you know, different weight classes for you guys and try to make these competitions fair. And then we have to build up a prize list of games, which we have, and that also costs us money because we have multiple Humble Bundle accounts so that we get monthly games added to the list, and all of that takes a lot of time. And then we do about 12 hours of judging, which takes my time and 2 other judges' time, and we sit there for about 12 hours recording and judging your guys' creations. And then that 12 hours, I have to go through that 12 hours of footage again, and so I edit that another 12 hours, and then rendering, making all the graphic work and uploading is another 20 to 30 hours. I would say on average each one of these contests, depending, sometimes we do POV coaster videos, that takes me an insane amount of time. I've spent up to 80 hours of work on just some of these contests alone. You know, not to complain, but I want to make a point here is saying that 80 hours and I get maybe 5 videos from it in terms of YouTube videos. In that 80 hours, I probably could have made 30 coaster spotlights, and that would have been 30 videos for the YouTube channel. But instead, I'm sacrificing 25 videos that could have made revenue for these community events. And those 5 videos that come from these contests don't compare in revenue compared to the 30 videos I could have made in that time frame. So what I'm getting at is these contests actually put me in a deficit, guys. And because I'm working so hard and still putting 2 videos out a day, 2 spotlights, I haven't had a day off since we started these contests back in February. Not a weekend off, not a day off. I am working weekends to bring you guys fun contests and stuff like that, and using my free time to try and grow the community and add fun stuff. Now, if we had more patrons that kind of trumped the revenue that YouTube does, that would more or less justify the reason of saying, hey, we're going to do contests instead of a lot of YouTube videos. And sometimes it gets hard because there's not enough patrons to cover the losses of the revenue that I would have been getting if I made videos instead of contest videos. It's really means a lot to me if you guys become a patron, because it allows me to continue doing these contests and events. You know, I don't want to stop doing the contests, but I need some time off, and that means I have to either stop making YouTube videos for a bit or I have to stop doing contests for a bit. If I stop making YouTube videos, then the revenue drops, so the best thing to drop is the contests. But if we get more patrons, that means I could do more contests and less YouTube videos, and it all balances out. So all the work gone into these contests is a ton of effort. So becoming a patron is greatly appreciated, and it means continual contests from here on out. So just wanted to stress that point there, guys. So I went and updated the Patreon page to kind of make things a little bit more rewarding for you guys. I changed all the icons around, so all the tiers have been shifted. So the $3 reward used to be just starter patron, now it's bronze patron. The $5 reward used to be bronze, and now it's silver. And the $10 reward used to be silver, now it's gold. And the $20 reward used to be gold, and now a diamond. I axed the platinum, and now the $50 reward used to be platinum, it's now ruby. Now, I used to have these little icons down here, but whenever I tried to add a new image, it just adds the old image. It's a bug. They obviously haven't tested their site, so I'm sorry about that, but I'll show you guys here. So this is the bronze Patreon logo. This is what you get for the $3 reward. This is the silver, which is what you get for 5. This is gold, which you get for 10. And this is no longer a thing, which was platinum. This is what you get for 20. And this is what you get for 50. What this means is that logo that I just showed you guys, it shows up in every one of my spotlights. If we go to a spotlight, and I'll show you guys right here. Here we are, one of my most recent videos. Looking at the Windmill King, created by Combat Wombat. So in the intro of every video, I show off the Patreon logo. So this was the $10, which will now show up as gold for Combat Wombat. It also highlights your name, so your name will be the color of your Patreon. And then we show off your Discord rank, which we have assigned in Discord. And then once we go into the video, one of our Discord master builders and silver patrons. Thank you so much for your support, Combat Wombat. So there you go. I give him a shout out. I show what he is and how much he's donating, and I also give him a big thank you. So that's what this means here, guys. When you get a special silver patron logo, you also get that with the bronze. I'll show off that logo for you guys, and then also show off your Discord title, give you a shout out, all that stuff. And then I've also gone and tweaked the rewards a little bit. So as we go down, I've kind of reworded things and made things a little bit cleaner on here and updated it to be more relevant. You guys can have a read here through it all. Check it out again for yourselves, but we'll go over the reward tiers because that's probably what people are interested in. So for the $3 bronze patrons, you get the special title, the bronze patron in Discord. So I'll show you guys what that looks like, all the titles right now. So here's Discord, and on the right hand side you can see all of our members. We have our legends on the right, we have our master builders, and then it goes to our patrons. So we do have a couple ruby patrons showing up. They got a special name tag. The diamond patrons have a special name tag, the golds, the silvers, the bronzes. So that's what it means by the special name tag, and you show up as high priority but just under myself, the legends, and the masters. So your name pretty much goes to the top by becoming a patron, and then under all that we have our experts, our advanced builders, our builders, and our new beginners. And out of all these people, it's only showing the people that are online at this moment, but there are 442 members at the time of making this video. So tons of people sharing screenshots. We have Planet Coaster pictures. All you're allowed to do is post your images here. You can show what you're working on, and then you can go over to the other chat and talk about it. And we also have Channel 5 gaming chat, which is all memes and fun stuff. So we also have a Patreon chat, so anyone that has questions can post them in here and get help by me. If you are a patron, you're going to get that special chat. It doesn't even show up for people that are not patrons. So there you go, guys. That's kind of how Discord works and how the name tags work, so you get a visualization of it. So with the bronze, you get that name tag, you get the special logo that I showed you guys. If you get put on a spotlight, you get full access to Planet Coaster Discord chat, and you also get access to exclusive posts and videos. Probably if I get about 100 patrons, guys, I'm going to start doing weekly or every 2 weeks a special video. Might be a spotlight, something that the YouTube subscribers will not get to see. So as soon as I hit a certain goal, I'm going to start doing Patreon only videos, and you guys are going to have access to all those posts. So the $5 one, you get the silver patron tag with the silver logo, access to the special Patreon chat room, which I showed you guys, and then this is where you start getting your name in the credits. Now let me show you this. So this is a PNG overlay, and it's a credit screen. Whenever somebody becomes a patron, we add them to the list. Now I've updated this to reflect the new ranking system. So silver, once you become a silver patron, you get put in the credit screen of every video that I make. It comes up at the last 30 seconds of the video when I give out the outro, and it shows on the right hand side, you know, subscribe and the video that's going to be playing next, or a suggested video for you to watch. You get prioritized on this list. Whenever we get a new patron, I add them to that list and update it. So it's a PNG and it's overlaid, so you still see the video behind it. And I'm sure you guys have seen it before. So at the end of every video, here's an example of one of my videos here. Spotlight. If you guys enjoy, please be sure to smash that like button. It shows up and it stays there for about 30 seconds. And this is the old one. So we had platinum, gold, silver, and bronze, and now it's much prettier. And then we got spotlight consideration pass. Anyone who's a patron is considered for spotlights, so long as your work is at an acceptable level. That's the disclaimer, guys. The silver patron wasn't ever guaranteed to get you on the show, but there's been many people who just do the $5 patron a month, and because they are supporting the show and I appreciate them, I do pull them out of the bucket. So you still get that consideration by having that $5 pass, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. But if I'm going through the picks and I'm like, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, oh, this guy's silver. Oh, he did a pretty good thing. You're gonna get picked and go to the top, but you'll be below the golds, the diamonds, and the rubies and whatnot. You'll be at the lowest of the patrons, but you'll be featured before everyone else that week, so long as your creation is good. Let me kind of show you guys here. This is a tool that Lauren has built. She's a programmer, and every week there's new things coming into the inbox. Let me show you this, the metrics. Right now, there are 489 submissions in the inbox, the picks, and the top picks. So the queue to get on the show, you have to wait for 500 people and 2 a day. That means it's going to take you 250 days to get on the show, unless your creation is absolutely amazing and I notice it and it goes right to the front of the line. So becoming a patron really puts you ahead of a lot of submissions. So yeah, you get bumped to the front of the queue, and every week we get about 50 more submissions, guys, but I'm also like slowly chipping away at them. As you can see in the releases, there's 60 videos being waited to be edited. When I come into my inbox and I see all the new submissions, I go, oh, Combat Wombat, he's a silver patron, and I put him in recordings. And then I come down here, oh, Junkie, he's a bronze patron, and I'll take a look at it to see if it's good quality. Like I said, we prioritize the higher patrons first, and if it's good, I'll put it in the recordings bucket. And I'll go through here and I'll look to see whoever has the patron thing first. Combat Wombat, he's going straight in the recording bucket. I will look through this. Riley, he's going straight into the recording bucket. And then once I've kind of picked through all the patrons that have submitted in the last week, I'll pick all these guys, and then I'll go through and try and look at what rank you are. Because if you are an expert, there's a good chance your creation is awesome. So it ensures me the quality is going to be there, because you guys got to remember, the audience wants to see good videos, good creations. So I prioritize based off of your rank and based on your patron. It helps that a lot of the patrons are high rank, so I just go straight to the top of the bucket. But here's the thing, if I have to decide between Combat Wombat, who's a master builder, and Tetsuo, who's a master builder, Tetsuo's going to be featured later on in the week. Combat's going on the first day. The higher your patron, the sooner the week you get released, and I'll go through it. So it'll be ruby first, diamond, gold, silver, bronze. Once all the patrons have been featured that week, we see how much room we have left before the week is up. If I featured 10 out of 14 of the videos, there's only 4 spots left. So maybe I'll pick Graf Hugo, Tetsuo, and then I'll start looking through and seeing which ones look interesting, because I also want to try and spot something that looks really neat. Like Shaman is from a beginner, but it looks interesting. Let's take a closer look at it. So I'll click on it, go to the workshop, and take a closer look at it. So I try to get a good variety, because I do want to show off the new builder stuff as well and try to provide them with some feedback. So every once in a week I'll sprinkle in a good variety. But if we get overloaded with patron submissions, the patrons are going first, because they are keeping the show alive, guys. So it certainly gets you to the front of the line of 500 people. Then when I go over to my recordings, it shows all the ones I've picked, and I put them in order from the highest patron down to the lowest, and then I start deciding who goes after them. And if they take up all 14 slots, then it's all patrons that week. We have 60-70 patrons now. It's kind of impossible for them to fill the entire week, so it's never been the case so far. You'll get to the front of the line for sure, and that's how the system works. So you can get a visualization, so that when you do become a patron, guys, I notice it, I see it right here, and I go, that is influencing my choice to get you on the show. So it makes a huge impact on my end, and then all this stuff will show up in the video, and you'll also get a shout out, because when I'm doing the video, I get to see the information right here. So I'm reading off what someone had said about this, I'm reading what their rank is, what their patron status is, and all that stuff. Everybody that's a patron gets spotlight consideration. That's my point. Now, when we move on to the gold patrons, it's a coaster or ride spotlight priority pass. This means you're guaranteed to skip in front of the line at least once that month. So if we're getting tons of submissions and I'm busy and whatever, and you're a gold patron, you're guaranteed to still get your ride or coaster on the show, so long as you meet the requirements of a regular submission and it's still deem it appropriate. You guys can't send me like a troll coaster that's full of inappropriate things, or only an hour's worth of effort gone into it. It has to still be interesting to the audience. Just so you guys know, I've featured probably 100+ patrons on the show show so far, and I've only said no to, I think, one. And then they came back and they made something better, and I featured that. So it's not impossible standards, so you know. And I've also featured plenty of beginners. They weren't patrons, so it's not like the craziest thing. You know, if I put 3 hours into making the video for you guys, you should probably put at least 3 hours into making your creation, at least, because it's that much time for me to edit and get it up online for you. Each one of these spotlights can range to about 3 hours or more of work. Guaranteed coaster or ride spotlight and all the other goodies, and then you get the spotlight priority. So even after you've used your pass, there's been many times where I go, oh, that person's an awesome creator and they're a patron, front of the line every single week. Every week they get featured because they're both a good creator and a patron, and they're on Monday, every Monday, pretty much. Because you're supporting the show and you're keeping the show going, and YouTube ad revenue doesn't do a good job of it, and we need the patrons, then, you know, yeah, you're keeping the show alive. You deserve to be shown multiple times. So you still get the spotlight priority even after using your pass. And for the diamond, I've added in this change. I rarely do parks, guys. It's like 2 a month. For the $20 one, I'm giving you guys a park spotlight priority pass, which means you're guaranteed to have your park shown that month. Now, disclaimer, you know, same thing. It must be a decent quality park for me to show off. Park spotlights take about an hour to record, 2+ hours to edit, an hour to render, an hour to upload. Sometimes a park spotlight could take me, I know with Six Flags Magic Mountain, it took me 10 to 12 hours to make that video. So sometimes they're a lot of work, and that's why spotlights are rarer. So with this one, you get that spotlight priority pass. Plus you get the coaster spotlight as well, because you get the above benefits, and you also get high priority. So whatever you make, whether it be coaster, you're being considered before the gold patrons as a diamond. And then moving on to ruby, you get one-on-one mentor time with me. Some people have asked, I go through their entire workshop with them, say how they can improve their screenshots, what they've done well, what they could probably like adjust or remove the fluff on their workshop, and just kind of like give them a rundown on like how to get more followers, how to get more subscribers, what's going to bring you to the front page of Steam. And I'm going to go over your workshop with you, and we're going to spend an hour or two to do it. So that's pretty huge. And then obviously you get the highest spotlight priority. You know, so long as your stuff is good, you're going to be the first that week, even possibly every week, because you still have the highest spotlight consideration. And obviously you get all the above rewards with that, and the rarest of rare icons and names in Discord, bringing your name right to the top. So same thing goes with the Patreon chat. The higher your rank, the more I'm going to help you. If you're bronze and you're asking questions 1,000 times a day, it's going to be hard for me to respond to them all. It's within consideration, guys. But if you're a ruby patron and you ask a question, you need help with a project, I'll probably answer it as like within a day, and I'll try to get to everybody as often as I can. I check Discord, I check the chats, I check it every day in between when I'm rendering videos and I have some downtime. So it's a lot to manage, it's a lot to keep an eye on. Plus I have 460 other members messaging me and stuff. But out of everybody messaging me, which is like hundreds, you guys get my full undivided attention. So Patreon tracks members from the beginning of time, and you guys will be remembered for that. The longer you've been a patron, the more you've donated. I'm gonna remember that and see that. So when I eventually get a merchandise shop, eventually I'll do prizes and giveaways, and I'll give some t-shirts away. We'll have to see how it goes, but eventually this will happen, and I'll be in a situation, hopefully one day, where money's not an issue and I can start giving back to those who helped me get to where I need to be. So it's tracking your names, guys, and all your donations, and I will remember that. And this little bit here about it's just going over what I said earlier. Your patrons stand out, so your name, title, where you are, if you're saying something, it catches my attention both in my tool and in Discord. So I'm much more likely to notice it and choose you or respond to you, because that fancy color really stands out. So yeah, you know, and then the other stuff you can read, it's future goals, all that stuff. We've talked about this in the last Patreon video. I want to be able to do a web store, merchandise stock, new designs, upgrade my PC. My webcam recently died, which is why I'm not using it now. I had to take my green screen down because I'm going to be moving in the next 2 months. So that's a pain in the butt. I've had some unfortunate life changes recently. I'm not ready to talk about that, but you know, things are shifting for me, so I don't have the same setup as before. So the patrons will help me reestablish a foothold on my new office space, I suppose. And then there's all about me, my background, where I came from, the school I went to as a QA tester, worked in the film industry, I worked in the game industry, I was a freelance artist, I was a 3D artist, and then I started doing YouTube. YouTube. So I got 10, 12 years, I'd say 20 years, because I started this all at a young age of art experience. So that all goes down and boils into what we're looking at today on the show. And that's the changes to the Patreon, guys. So the big thing is all the titles have been shifted. They're much more prettier. The rewards have been a little bit improved. And I also just wanted to make this video to once again thank you all the patrons who've gotten me through these hard times and continue to help me get through these hard times. And thank you to all future patrons. And I felt like making another video. The last time we made it was at 6,000 subscribers. We're at 13 now, so thank you to all the new subscribers, and thank you guys for your consideration. Even if you drop a tip jar of appreciation, it really means a lot to me and helps out. Thank you in advance to anyone who becomes a patron, and thank you again to all my current patrons. You guys really make a difference. That's going to do it for this Patreon update video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a subscriber, and thank you for viewing and watching and liking my videos. It really means a lot to me. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye now.